So I had a nightmare last night.
Oh shit, that's not good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't really get nightmares very often, or when I do, they don't really scare me. But I woke up sweating, and I couldn't fall asleep till about 6 a.m. No joke. Terrified.
I don't think I've had one of those, and God, it's probably been a while. And it's usually like something that happens to my family. But
Yeah.
I'm curious. Let's hear it.
So hopefully, I actually texted it to a friend. It didn't sound as scary via text, but in the dream, oh my God, it was horrifying.
Oh, I didn't
Anyways,
get the text.
No.
Oh, sorry,
So
I'm not your friend.
So I was hanging out with a gal in my dream, okay?
Nice.
And we were on those old like Razor scooters. You remember
I
those?
love those.
I think they come out when I was like in elementary school, so they're pretty old. And for some reason, we were just like going down the road. We were just chatting, having a good time. And we both like just kind of look at a view of a mountain. We're like, oh, that's nice, right? And all of a sudden I get this thought like, oh my God, something bad's going to happen. And immediately you just kind of start hearing this like kind of like gravelly like earthquake noise, and then a boom. This boom is huge, right? This mountain it's gone, okay? And then we start seeing like, and this is really far in the distance, and the ground starts to fall, and you can just see like magma. It's like the earth crust is going into the mantle. You know what I mean?
Were you here in Utah still? Like, was it here? Or do you know?
In my dream, I wasn't thinking that, right?
Right.
In my dream, I was like, I don't want to die. That's all I thought. I'm like, I'm not ready to die yet.
That's a fair thought.
Me and this gal, we're just scootering as quickly as we can away from this, right? And I look back, and it's just getting so close, and I'm like, oh my God, because when it comes to like lava, like if you actually land on it, you don't like go through it, you just kind of land on it and just burn to death. It's actually just kind of
like flypaper, right? You just stick to it and
yeah, exactly. It's still rock,
right?
And I remember it was just about to have me go down. I'm like, screw it, and I grabbed this girl's hand. We just close our eyes and we go, and then I woke up.
That's so romantic, bro.
It just terrified me, and it made me kind of think of something. You know the story of Pompeii, right?
Yeah, like the volcano that wiped out that entire town.
Yeah, so there was a town on an island full of people, advanced society. This exact situation happened to them. They're just sitting there doing their daily activities, and they hear a big boom. And this, it's like a field of ash or magma. It was coming at them so fast that they couldn't outrun it. People tried, but ultimately they just kind of hugged their friends and their family, and they just let it overtake
them. And they were like calcified in that same.
They're preserved.
Like,
that's how they're preserved.
Yeah,
they were holding hands or hugging each other like they knew the end was nigh, and that's what it reminded me of.
Jesus, man, that's rough.
I wonder if there's ever like a ancestry like memory that's like in our psyche sometimes in our dreams. And then it reminded me of one last thing, because I just went off on a tangent in the middle of the night thinking about this stuff. There's this game. And it's going to be so it's not going to seem like it's related to this, but I'll relate it to it, okay? So there's a game where you have a 93% chance of winning, but if you play it 90% of the time, you're going to die, the participants,
what the hell?
So here's how it goes, okay? It's a thought experiment made by somebody. I didn't really look it up, but I found it very interesting. So the game of roulette, right?
Yeah.
So, roulette, you bet on a number. It's between 1 and 36. So if you place a bet, let's say you bet on 4, and you have, like a 7% chance of winning? 7%?
Right.
I'd say close. We could be off there. So the rule of this game is it's a roulette wheel, okay? You spin it, and you bet on a number. If it lands on the number, you just get shot in the head. You instantly die.
That's fun.
But if not, you win $10 million. Would you play the game?
No, God no.
What if it was like $1 billion?
No.
$100 billion?
No.
I'd probably do it.
I know you would. You're a fucking psychopath.
But here's the thing, right? The game keeps going. So it starts with one person, right? And then if he wins, they bring in 100 people. And, they keep giving them money if they win. If those 100 people, they all just bet one number, okay? So maybe 100 people bet on 5. And if they win, fine. They bring in 10,000 people. And it grows exponentially.
Jesus.
So because it's an exponential growth, the moment someone rolls a number that they bet on, they all die. 90% of the participants die because of the math, right? And it made me think of this, right? So let's say there's a world-ending event. Population growth grows exponentially.
Right.
Okay. So, we have 7 billion people on the earth, but if we were to go way back, I don't think if you went all the way back to man, if there was 7 billion people before us, right?
I doubt it.
So if you were to place a bet, let's just say every 100 million years, there's a guaranteed world-ending apocalypse.
So 2020 is what you're saying.
If it were to happen, it would probably happen when it has the biggest population. So if you're a betting man and you were randomly place in the world, chances are, if there is a world-ending event every 100 million years, you would be part of the generation that dies in that apocalypse.
Jesus,
you see where I'm going with
that? Yeah.
There's a lot of flawed assumptions in there, but I was just thinking about it.
It's still interesting to think about, and that's a hell of a way to start us off on the show, man.
That's how my day started.
Well, it's a very productive day. I woke up, I had some coffee, played with my son for a second, started working, and that was it.
Yeah.
I don't think I had any dreams last night. I just slept and woke up.
I texted the gal. I'm like, we're never going on razors. We're never going on a scooter. Not me and you.
We're never gonna, scooter next
knocking on wood for the whole of
to
humanity.
A volcano. Well, damn, man, that's pretty intense. Well, welcome to Enter the Abyss, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed Cleet's dream. Holy shit, Cleet, it's December.
Yeah, isn't it strange?
It is. And I can't help but feel like the year we're in is just going to have this grandiose, finale, like you're saying. It's just weird that you said that.
Oh, by the way, I was going to say, I thought it was Yellowstone in my dream. I was like, it's fucking Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
That's what I was doing while I was scooting away.
Yellowstone goes off, we're dead. We're in the kill zone.
Yeah, the United States is gone. The East Coast maybe, but
the West Coast is done.
I'll go run into my bunker. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm coming over too. I know you got the food supply and the water supply. And oh, yeah. Sorry, never mind. Clee has nothing. He's poor. But yeah, so we are here again doing the Urban Legends again. And oh, man, we're halfway through. This is our 5th episode.
Yeah, 5 new states, people.
And they're all with the letter M. We got Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, and Missouri.
Nice.
But, Cleet, what are we drinking tonight? That's the next important question of the evening.
This one is called Comin' in Hop by Talisman Brewing Company.
It's a wheat India Pale Ale.
Tastes pretty good.
IPAs. It is very good, and it's a very big bottle.
Yeah, Britton got grossed out because on the top of the bottle they have a little bit of the yeast in there they used to cook it. Not cook it, but brew it.
I wasn't quite grossed out. It's just not every day you open a bottle and see a bunch of fucking
looks like
pudding on the top
paste,
of it.
Right?
It's nasty.
Yeah.
But it is a very delicious beer. So if you find yourself coming into contact with Comin' in Hop, you should get one. But without further ado, I guess we go ahead and kick this thing off. So we'll just start off with Massachusetts. So Massachusetts has the spirits of Hoosac Tunnel. You heard of Hoosac Tunnel before?
I haven't heard.
In western Massachusetts, there's a 4.75 mile tunnel named Hoosac Tunnel that is supposedly haunted by the ghosts of those who died during its construction. I mean, would you go explore an almost 5 mile tunnel?
How many people died?
We'll get there, but would you do it?
Oh, yeah, I'd do it.
All the way to the end.
I mean,
no lights, nothing.
I mean, it really depends, though. If it's, in really bad standing, there could be, cave-ins, maybe not.
Right? Oh, that's a good point. So, I mean, the tunnel took nearly 24 years to complete and began construction in 1851 and ended in 1875. So it's an old bridge. Yeah. It's probably going to have some structure damage, of course. During that time, to answer your question, approximately 200 men perished while building this tunnel.
Yeah, dude, if 200 people died building the tunnel, I'm already assuming it's not a safe tunnel.
Due to the constant death toll, the tunnel was given the nickname the Bloody Pit.
Would you work there?
Yeah. Now hiring for the Bloody Pit.
Britain, they pay 20% better than the average wage.
Oh, 20%, now you're talking. Better than the shitty pit. Now, we can spend a lot of time discussing the history of the railroad, including why it was built and the planning that went into it. But, let's be honest, you're all here to talk about why it's haunted, right?
Yeah.
So let's jump into that shit instead. The most gruesome and chilling incident is the Central Shaft accident. That's it?
Happened with me with the ex-wife once.
There is a 1,000-foot vertical chimney that allows exhaust to escape, because obviously it has to go somewhere. On October 17th, 1867, some fumes ignited, which caused a massive explosion. This explosion completely destroyed the hoist that was used to lower men, supplies, and equipment all into the shaft while they're working. So it's a very crucial piece of equipment. It just exploded.
So the explosion went through the shaft.
Yeah, and it while they're still working, it just blew up the whole thing. The shaft exploded. The 13 men that were working the bottom of the shaft, no pun, were rained with flaming pieces of the hoist and supplies. Several pumps were also destroyed, which caused flooding in the tunnel. The miners on the surface did everything they possibly could to rescue those below, but after several failed attempts, they believed that the miners were dead. They returned months later when it was safe enough to finish the excavation, but they discovered that some of the miners had actually survived and lived for quite some time after, having made makeshift rafts in order to deal with the flooding. What would you do if you left thinking that like some of your workers were dead, right? Doing everything you can to get them out, but then you come back and you find out they've been alive for quite some time.
If I was the workers, I'd be pissed.
Right. They're like, well, those fuckers abandoned us. That's cool. I mean, okay, it's an explosion. You can't get them out. Everything's burning. It's flooding down there. Like, there's not much you can do. Like, the shaft is gone. It's burning. It's flooding.
The shaft goes away after the explosion.
Okay. So, obviously, when you have such horrible incidents like this, you're prone to hear of stories of hauntings taking place, right? So, during the time that the tunnel wasn't being worked on while they were letting the flooding kind of phase out, villagers in the surrounding area started noticing vague shapes and figures around the pit. Workmen would talk about the lost miners carrying picks and working tools through a thin veil of mist at the mountaintop. So they're like seeing all these miners coming through the mist and these weird shapes and figures all over the place.
That's legitimately creepy.
Yeah, it's pretty. Can you imagine like just walking by the tunnel, you see like miners up on the mountaintop that just fade into the mist? The apparitions would appear for just a few moments before suddenly vanishing, leaving no prints in the snow. Others reported eerie moans and muffled cries coming from deep within the shaft. Most of these strange encounters ceased when the miners were found and given a proper burial. So they found the bodies finally, they buried them, and a lot of these things just dissipated. So people are like, yeah, that was absolutely the spirits being trapped there. So it is kind of crazy. There were some other stories that were reported, such as a fire tender named Harlan Mulvaney, who was driving a wagon load of firewood into the tunnel late one night. Suddenly he became spooked and fled out of the tunnel quickly, whipping his horses like a madman. A few days later, some workmen found his horses and wagon in the forest abandoned, and Harlan was never seen or heard from ever again. So where did he go, man? Others reported seeing dim lights in the tunnel, reportedly looking like torches. They would then turn blue when getting closer and resemble the shape of humans, only to suddenly disappear. So there's lots of strange encounters, but honestly, I think this is a cool tunnel we should visit at some point. But, you know, a lot of the sightings have changed. It's still an active tunnel. There's some trains that still travel through there. It's a really, like, again, it's a 5-mile tunnel that still connects a lot of the trade ports and stuff. But that's the story of Hoosac Tunnel.
Think about tunnels or being underground. I think the scariest thing is just how dark it gets.
Oh,
especially like if you're stuck in one and you like run out of lights. That's like a fear of mine.
Have you trapped? Have you ever been to the lava tunnels in Flagstaff, Arizona?
No.
Oh my God, they're so cool. My aunt and uncle took us there when we were staying with them one summer, and like you said, it's pitch black, man. Like if you don't bring a flashlight down there, like we went into the middle of it, and it's like these underground caverns that were carved by, you know, lava and stuff. And it's pitch black. You can't see your hand in front of your face, anything. It's the creepiest fucking thing. And my brother took a picture with one of the little disposable cameras, and it looks like there's like a orange ghost floating behind me. Obviously, it's just like some weird smoke or whatever, but I'm like, oh, it's still a ghost.
Ghost.
But, yeah, those tunnels are fucking creepy because you can't see anything. All right, where are we going next, Cleet?
All right, this one is from Michigan. It's the ghost of Elias Friesk at Hell's Bridge.
Fucking shit. I was going to say, are we going to have more hell portals and fucking humanoid Bigfoot creatures this week?
They had a copy of the Hell Bridge, and they had a copy of the Pied Piper story.
Oh, that's the first thing I covered on this podcast.
I mean, I'm not saying they did, but I'll just say the story. Okay?
All right, let's hear it.
So in Michigan, Rockford, it was first inhabited years ago in the 1800s. The surrounding woods and Rogue River was a source of resources and adventure for the people settling there. Soon, however, odd occurrences started happening, like children going missing. The people in the town banded together in the church. They split up into groups and started searching around the town for the missing children.
We're going to find these kids if it kills us.
Yeah. A man by Elias Frisk warned parents of the terrifying demons surrounding the town.
Oh, shit.
And volunteered to stay behind with the remaining children while they searched.
You said it was a priest that said that?
No, just a guy.
Oh, okay. I was like...
So first of all, Britton, you got a kid. Would you just be like, a bunch of kids go missing in your neighborhood. You have this kind of weird guy that talks about demons all the time. Are you going to leave your kid with him while you search for the neighbor's
absolutely
kids?
Not. No.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? He's the demon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't even leave my kid with like any of my neighbors. I'm like, no, you're staying with me. If kids are going missing, you're not leaving my sight.
Yeah. So as soon as the parents were out of the town, Frisk led the children to the woods along the bank of the Rogue River and brutally murdered them.
this is like the Pied Piper, but
It
way
really
more
is.
gruesome. Because
Yes.
the Pied Piper, I mean, there's stories of him murdering, but he just took him to a cave to live a better life, mostly.
Yeah.
A fucking monster.
And this is just so happens to be the place where all the other missing children were murdered.
Oh.
So he just had a pile of children here, and he just threw some more on there. He dragged the bodies of the newly built bridge in that area and started throwing them into the river. As he was doing this, one of the search parties found him and caught him in the act. I assume he just had maybe a child in his hands. He was maybe they saw a child
He's
go
like
to the river.
halfway ready to throw it. Like, how do you get yourself out of that? Oh, I just found him. He was just like this.
Yeah, exactly. So Elias, he said, I am not guilty. I know what it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
I need mercy here because I was possessed by demons, and they
Oh.
forced my hand.
Yeah.
Would you believe him?
Sounds a lot like the Salem witch trials.
Yeah, it's like a mix of like a lot of stuff, I feel like.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like all the horror movies mashed into one. But no, I wouldn't believe him. I'd probably kill him.
so you wouldn't give him any mercy?
No, God, I'd kill him and shove him off the bridge.
Yeah. So the townsfolk actually kind of had the same feeling as you, and they were so pissed they just tied a noose, hung him up over the bridge for his crimes, watched him die, and they just left his body there until the water and nature wore at the rope, and eventually it broke, and he too joined the lost souls of the children in the river.
Wow, that's fucking dark, bro.
Yeah. So they still say there's residual effects to this day in that area. People talk about they go swimming in there, and people say they feel things grabbing their ankles.
It's just the poor kids wanting out.
Yeah, is it the kids? Is it, Frisk being a weirdo trying to drown them?
That's true. He's possessed by demons. He wants to drag more people down. I'm guessing you're going to see an apparition of him hanging from under the bridge. Is that on here?
Yeah, people have claimed that. They've also talked about maniacal laughter and then splashes by the bridge.
Jesus Christ.
Some other people talk about children laughing. It was kind of like a mix of water babies too, something that we covered earlier. But, really sad story. It's just interesting how much interwoven these tales seem to be after researching so many of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of commonalities for sure. All right, so next we're headed to Minnesota. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Fargo.
Yeah,
Have you seen
it's
Fargo?
pronounced Minnesota.
Minnesota? Do
Minnesota.
you want a Minnesota?
Yeah.
But have you seen Fargo at all?
Isn't it about a wood chipper? Isn't he like a main character?
Yeah,
A wood chipper?
there is a wood chipper in the movie, but there's like the movie that was like in the 90s with William H. Macy, and they have 4 seasons now on FX. It's a really good show.
Is the wood chipper the protagonist or?
No, it's what the protagonist uses. It's actually a pretty brutal scene, man. I think you'd enjoy that movie. But anyway, it's the good old Minnesota accent, yeah? Okay, so Clete, I have a question for you. So let's say you're just, working on your property. You're mowing the lawn, you're trimming the bushes, as you do. And you come across a mysterious, stone with carvings and engravings on it. And you're like, oh my God, this is from some other time. What would you do? Would you worship it? Would you keep it? Would you sell it? What would you do?
If I thought it was of historical value, I'd probably call the local university.
Okay, cool. Well, that's what this is about. So Minnesota actually is known for the Kensington Runestone. Have you heard that one?
No.
Okay, so in 1898, a Swedish-American farmer named Olaf Oman discovered a gigantic 200-pound slab of rock on his farm while working with his son.
Wait, so it's not dynamite?
No.
Okay.
It's not a sweating piece of dynamite.
Okay, good.
And they're not going to shoot it.
I just need to clarify. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good clarification. It's very important that we clear the waters there. This rock had mysterious symbols on it that at first appeared to be Norse, the Vikings, right? Still to this day, no one has any idea where it actually came from, but there are many who believe that this is proof that Vikings landed before Columbus
Yeah,
did.
there's a lot of theories that the Vikings came to America before Columbus.
I was actually going to ask you, so what's your thoughts on that? Where do you stand? Columbus or Vikings first?
If I were to place money, I'd put it on the Vikings.
Really?
I mean, yeah, they had ships. There's a lot of evidence the Vikings came to the U.S.
Right. I agree. I don't know who came first. They both were at some point, but Christopher Columbus, a lot of people think that he was here first.
Amerigo was before him.
Yeah,
That's a guy.
That's true. Yeah, and I know. So a fun little fact, the Midwest houses some seriously deep Scandinavian pride, of which the heart lies within Minnesota. Do you know that?
Pride's like people are happy
They're
about
very
it.
happy about it, right? I'll clarify a little bit more. Minneapolis has the highest concentration of Norwegians outside of Norway.
Okay, so genetically, that's interesting.
Genetically, yeah, it's very Scandinavian. Those that live there cultivate their Viking heritage daily. Some proud Vikings, if you ask me. So they're like all over Vikings, and so they see this tablet and they lose their fucking mind, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is proof that Vikings were here first." So again, so they dug this slab out of the ground and they proudly like flaunt it into Kensington, and they're like, "Look what we found." Now, this stone brought an immediate frenzy of locals who were very eager to prove the Viking presence in the New World before Columbus landed. Unfortunately, however, prominent runologists and professors who were eager to study the stone found several flaws in the slab. The first was the dating, which even the most stretched account only dated 500 years back, so doesn't quite reach that far. The runes were also inconsistent with Norse language during the 14th century. So I know you were happy, but this rune itself doesn't prove. But now there's still, like you said, there's a lot of evidence that could point towards the Vikings, but this slab is not one of them.
Some sort of Viking fraud.
Right. After years of debate, this slab was universally declared a hoax that Vikings appeared first. Now, the most devout Vikings in the area still hold on to the claim despite the outcome of the studies, right? That you can slap all the evidence and proof in front of them. They're like, nope, Vikings were here first. That's just how it goes. They are still hoping with all that they have that the slab is a genuine piece of Viking history. And if you want to check out the rune for yourself, it's not at the Smithsonian. You just have to go to the museum in Alexandria, Minnesota.
Little tangent. They've actually found Roman coins in the U.S., suggesting, and even Roman artifacts, suggesting that even the Romans may have come to America way before the Vikings.
Right. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I actually... I had a friend that used to collect a lot of coins, and he had a good chunk of Roman coins in his collection.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I know that's all he did though, was collect coins, and it's like he would spend like upwards of $600 on some of these coins, and I'm like, that's pretty cool, but
it's not the
a lot of
worst
fucking money.
investment.
No, it's not.
You
But
know?
I mean, if he spent $600, like, I don't know, what's the outcome of that? But anyway, so that's Minnesota. It's a good old faux Viking slab of rock.
Oh. Wasn't
So-
haunted? Didn't
No.
hit anybody?
So that's the thing. As I was looking, it's like,
Didn't float at midnight?
no, and
On
this
the
was
third?
on the list of like the creepiest minute. I'm like, how is this creepy? It's like people excited about Vikings. I will say though, I think it's funny because I think Vikings in the last decade or so, like people that find out they're like related to Vikings get like super pumped. It's like they're getting jacked, like I'm a fucking Viking. And it's like, hey, it's cool to be, happy where you're from, but Jesus Christ, like you're not a
I'm
Viking.
a little Scandinavian. I don't really care.
You're not gonna put runes up, and I think
Still
Vikings
to my
are
house.
cool.
I'm dressed up as a Viking next week.
Right?
Hey,
I'm like,
brother.
you got
Got an old mug for beer.
like an ale horn
Yeah.
type thing. Hell yeah! I wouldn't even be mad. Like if I came in, you're like, hey, we're drinking ale this week from a horn. I'm like, fuck yeah, sign me up. But I actually want to like braid my beard one year and put like those little like silver and beads and stuff in there. I think it'd be kind of cool. But yeah, we've got some friends that found out they're Vikings, and it's really cool. They got these cool shelves that are made and all
We
that
should
stuff.
do the beard
so
thing and attack people in the park.
we should. That's a great idea.
Okay.
I know you're kind of a gamer, but not the new Assassin's Creed is all the Vikings era, and it's really cool. I think you'd like it. But that's if you get back into games again.
Yeah, I won't like it. We're going to talk about Mississippi, specifically the Mississippi Queen. She took everything.
Mississippi
Isn't that the song?
Queen.
Is that the lyrics?
She taught me everything.
Oh, she taught me everything. No, I'm kidding.
Da-na-na-na-na.
So this is the legend of the three-legged lady. Well, they
Okay.
call it the three-legged lady road, but it's actually,
Oh.
yeah. When I first heard of this story, it reminded me of the Simpsons episode. I'm like, is there like, with the frog, or it's the fish with the three eyes, right? And I'm like, is there like nuclear waste, like just chilling somewhere by like
Yeah.
a river on this road?
Yeah, you said three-legged lady. I was thinking like she had a kickstand. I don't know why it reminded me of this. I don't know why this came up, but did you watch the Mad Max movies at all? Okay. So the actor who was in the most recent one who played God, I don't remember the guy's fucking name. The main villain in the movie, he just died this week.
Sad.
So, yeah, and he played a lot of the villains in the Mad Max series. I don't know why that brought up now, but anyway, just a new piece of information. But anyway, the three-legged lady.
Was Max
Floor is all
mad
yours.
about it?
He
Okay,
was
anyway.
very mad about it.
They call it the Three-Legged Lady Road, but it's officially named Nash Road. It's a long, winding stretch of dirt road through some thick woods. Locals say there's a creepy ambiance to it, especially at night. You know, any dirt road's going to be a little creepy at night, especially if it's like surrounded by the woods.
Everything's more creepy at night.
One thing that makes this road a little bit more, it's a really old road. It's narrow, and it's not really well traveled anymore. There's a cemetery on it that's run down. There's an abandoned ruin of an old church.
Is there a portal to hell?
No.
Okay. So then it's not that scary.
Yeah, not too bad. Teenagers are known to travel the road at night, shouting at the three-legged lady to lure them out in the woods. Like, it makes me like wonder what they're saying, you know? Like, hey, three-legged lady, come chase us.
I don't know.
What would you say?
I don't know why you're taunting a three-legged lady. She can run much faster than you can. She's got an extra leg.
Can you imagine that? You just see a three-legged lady just sprinting at you.
Nope. That's why I wouldn't go flaunt it. I mean, but I also don't want to be the jackass who's just cruising down the road shouting into the trees. Like, what does that make you look like? You're a fucking idiot.
Who's the real crazy person? All right. So that, according to the lore, is the lazy way to lure her out.
Oh, it's lazy. It's not very inventive. I want to know what the very good way is.
You know, I think the other ways are a little just as lazy. But anyways, there's a ritual that you can do where you supposedly will summon the three-legged lady. This ritual involves finding the church and knocking on its door 3 times. That's the first one. However, sadly, due to the church being abandoned, the door has disappeared.
So now what do you knock on?
And when I thought of that, I was just like, I'm going to find that church. I'm going to put a pre-framed door out there.
You're going to build a new door on it?
I'm going to bring back this lore.
You're like, guys, guess what? I went to that church. There's a door on it again.
You would like add to the lore too. They're like, there's this creepy pre-framed door that just appeared one day. It was painted black and had 666 on it. Can you imagine we could like add to this lore? It would just cost us like $300. We'll get it at Home Depot.
That's all? So
We'll
$150 a piece?
I think the paint would cost.
I saw a red door and
Paint a
I
three-legged
want to
lady.
paint it black. You missed my whole fucking reference.
Yeah, sing it again.
No, you missed it, fucker.
So because the door disappeared, the lore's kind of changed conveniently, you know. So now what people do is they'll honk 3 times while going down the road, or
That's
flash
close enough.
Yeah, or flash their lights 3 times.
That's how you signal a drug trade. People are gonna come out like bringing drugs. Like, no, I don't want the drugs.
Maybe there is a drug trade, and someone sees the lights, like they're summoning the demon.
But here's the catch: the drug dealer's a 3-legged lady.
The drug dealer.
That's what I said.
Yeah, okay. Dude, she's got some good stuff. Okay. After this ritual is performed, it is said the 3-legged lady demon.
What?
I don't know
Now
if she's a demon. I don't know. I just called her demon hag.
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of like that word. She's a demon
You're adding
hag.
more to the lore.
Yeah.
You're going to build a door, and now you're telling her she's
Well,
a
how would you
demon hag.
explain what she does next? Because she will jump on the roof of your car and knock 3 times back. I kind of respect that. You know, you go knock on the door, or like you flash your lights. She's like, "Oh no, you didn't.
No, you
And
didn't.
she'll knock at you. So
It's like getting the last word in. You're getting the last knock in. She's like, come back to my door, little bitch. Knock 3 more times, I dare you.
she will then chase your car by the edge of the wood.
Right down to the shaft.
Yeah. She will then chase your car by the edge of the woods, jumping into the side of your car in an effort to run you off the road.
So fucking hell. So she's just this lady ramming your car?
Yeah, she's probably ramming it with her 3rd leg.
I just Is she like 8 feet tall? Because like no woman's gonna be ramming a truck off the side. Okay,
I heard her 3rd leg is 8 feet.
Oh my god, dude! She's like dragging it behind her.
It is said if you look at her while she's doing this, she will kill you.
Oh, hang on. So she, I'm confused. So you knock on the door 3 times.
Yeah.
She jumps on the top of your car, knocks 3 more times. You drive away. She chases you, but you can't look at her. You just have to pretend this isn't happening.
And beware, you know, because there's no more door now. You got to honk or flash.
Okay, that's right. So you honk or flash. If you look at her though, she will kill you.
But how do people know that it's her chasing if they've never looked at her?
Right. It's like Medusa. You can't look her in the eye. How do you know it's Medusa? But do you want to Medusa? Ah! But do you want to risk being turned into stone or salt? Whatever story you want to believe.
No, dude, I'm a drive. So people have said to have found dents in their car after racing the 3-legged lady. But, like, to me, that sounds like an insurance scam. It's like, it looks like your car's totaled. Like, were you drinking and driving?
There's 3 specific dents. The lady had 3 legs off, so I don't know what to tell you.
Looks like you hit a tree.
No, I had a 3-legged lady.
Was this leg 8 feet tall?
Did you get a good look at her? No, you can't fucking look at her because I would die. What do you want me to do, sir?
So who is this 3-legged lady? Well, there's a lot of variations to her origin story.
Of course there is.
Some people say she was originally a housewife, but she had an affair with a Civil War veteran and was caught in the act by her husband. The husband killed the lover, drove him down the road, and threw him over the bridge. It was not a clean throw. In fact, his leg got caught on the bridge boards and it just tore off.
Oh.
He just had a leg dangling on the bridge.
That happens. So did she just sew it onto herself?
The man's funeral was held by the church on the road.
Oh.
He's buried in the cemetery. And it is said that his wife went crazy and found the leg on the bridge and sewed it onto her body.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah. And killed her husband and then herself.
Okay, I was just being a weirdo, but she actually sewed it on herself. I like how you put crazy with like 4 R's on there.
Yeah, you gotta be
Like
crazy to sew a leg.
Crazy.
Like, would you sew it on your face? Where would you sew it?
I'm not gonna answer that question. You can use your own imagination there.
Right on the butt.
But yeah, I'm curious though what the second.
Yeah. All right, next version. The wife is so in this version, the wife is very devoted to her husband.
Oh.
She found out her husband was having an affair and killed
With
him.
the same guy?
Maybe. No, it didn't say gender. Could have been a group of guys. Or a group of gals.
A group of guys.
Oh,
Okay. I mean,
God.
hey, look, whatever you're into, I don't kink shame.
Was I able to say that she killed him or?
I don't know.
All right. If not, and then she killed him. She then sewed his one leg on her body so she would always be with him.
Oh, God.
Soon, someone from the church learned of this and said if she did not confess her sins at church, they would turn her in, which doesn't seem very moral to me.
I noticed you came in with an extra leg. Do you want to tell us where you got this leg? It looks a lot like your husband's.
Which,
It's a little bit more fuzzy than yours are.
where's your husband been?
He's right here.
Desperate to keep her secret, she went to the church during Mass and threw a torch in the building while they were all in there, setting it ablaze.
What the fuck?
I imagine she flipped everyone off, and then she locked the front door so no one could escape. Legend has it that some people did escape, but they got out of the church on fire and ran to the woods, and no one ever found their bodies.
And she skipped away, all 3 legs.
Yeah, and then she jogged away with her 3 legs and was never seen again. And if you drive down that road and threaten to expose her secret, she'll kill you too.
I know your secret, your dirty little secret.
I know you got that 3rd leg.
Your husband with a group full of guys.
The next version is the 3-legged lady was a mother and her child was kidnapped. Her child was killed and dismembered, and her body parts were thrown around the woods on the side of the road. She was only able to find the leg, and it is said that her spirit is looking in the woods for the rest of her child parts.
Come on.
Her ethereal form is dragging her child's leg around with her while she's looking to collect the rest of the body.
Fucking morbid. The
Yeah.
other 2 were like, you can poke fun at. This is just downright disgusting.
I got one last version.
Oh.
All right. So next version is that it was actually the child of the woman, and they had a family, and she was having a 3-legged race with her brother down the road, and a drunk driver was driving down it and just
Took him out.
destroyed him, and she died. And that 3rd leg is actually her brother's leg, and explains why she seems to be racing drivers down the road. It's like she's trying to have a 3-legged race with them, which is
Or get vengeance on the car
Yeah.
that killed her brother.
maybe
And her.
could be anything. The end.
Wow. I don't that's probably the most bizarre urban legend we've covered, if I'm being honest.
I actually enjoyed it.
I'm
a
not
little bit.
upset because it's not a portal to hell. It's not some bridge or goat man or Bigfoot.
If I drove down that road, I'd be like, I know your secret. What's going on?
What's happening? I couldn't help but notice you have an extra leg, ma'am. Fuck. But speaking of Bigfoot, that's kind of where we're going next, because Missouri has Momo the Missouri Monster.
Momo, huh?
Yeah, it has a name, Momo. Not to be confused with the crazy bitch who showed up in all the kid videos. Did you hear about that? The whole Momo thing?
Yeah, well, Momo was this thing that was made to shock people, and then someone edited it into a lot
In
of
all
kids
the kids' films, yeah.
Thing's creepy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a story for another time, but this is completely different. What would an urban legend episode be without your typical Sasquatch Bigfoot creature, though, right? I mean, we have to cover it. You know, it's always here. Momo is Missouri's version of Bigfoot. It is described as having a terrible body odor, a pumpkin-shaped head, and prefers to eat dogs. Oh, shit, Clete, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were describing you on this episode.
Hey, don't talk about my home cooking.
It's more the pumpkin-shaped head. But
No, dude, you can barbecue anything.
That's true. You can. Before southeastern Missouri had its swampy land drained to become the rich farmland you'll see today, several sightings of a huge humanoid creature began to surface. It was supposedly responsible for killing a bunch of livestock. One hunter who happened to see the beast took a shot at it, which caused the creature to disappear for almost 30 years.
You know, someone, like, if I was, like, the last of a species and I was walking out of the woods and, like, oh, other things, like, hey, and they shot me, I'd probably disappear for a while.
Right. I'm just thinking my theory is it's like some guy that's dicking around, and so finally someone took a shot. He's like, oh, fuck, they're not messing around. And he's like, I'm done doing this. But anyway, he disappeared for 30 years. The next sighting came in July of 1968 in the suburbs of St. Louis. An innocent 4-year-old child was just playing in his backyard, you know, doing what kids do, probably eating sand, playing with dog poop, whatever you want to do.
Eating cat diarrhea from the litter box.
Yeah, something like that. Momo jumped out of the woods and grabbed him. The child's aunt, who saw the whole thing from inside, came out screaming for the beast to let the child go. Momo dropped the child, fearing the wrath of the aunt, and fled into the woods. Some local hunters weren't even able to find any tracks to validate the claim.
You know, there's a lot of lore of Bigfoot kidnapping children.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of lore for Bigfoot doing a lot of things.
No, like specifically too, and there's a lot of children that disappear in national parks. And that's like one of the crackpot conspiracy theories.
Crackpot. Yeah, so and this one had an insatiable hunger for dogs, which we'll talk about. Now, in 1971, 3 years after the attempted kidnapping, Joan Mills and Mary Ryan stopped for a nice picnic right off of Highway 79. Because there's nothing like a good picnic when you're driving, right?
Indubitably.
See, I can't believe you said that just fine. While eating their sandwiches, they both smelled the most horrible odor imaginable. There's nothing worse than eating food and smelling a horrible smell.
Was it your BO, dude?
Yeah, probably. They looked towards the thickets and saw a half-man, half-ape creature just watching them. Obviously jealous of their little picnic. He just wants to join them.
You know what I would do?
What's up?
I'd look at him directly in the eyes, and I keep
Take a
eating my
bite.
food.
You're just like chomping loudly.
Right in his eye sockets. I'm going to keep eating.
Oh, damn. Mary described the face as being definitely human, but having thick hair all over its body, except for its hands, which were completely hairless. Joan stated that the beast made a horrible gurgling noise as it started shambling after the women while they ran to their car in terror. I think it's just like...
Would have gurgled back and kept eating my food.
I don't think you would have. I think if like the 7-foot monster's chasing you, you're not going to sit there. I know you.
You're like run back to your car. Where's Cleet?
He's finishing that sandwich. He's
taking the cooler back.
So yeah, the women are like running to their car in terror, and this thing is just chasing him, like gurgling. The ladies couldn't drive away though because they left their keys on the table with their sandwiches and stuff. They started honking the horn at poor Momo, causing him to back away, all confused. Before returning to his home in the woods, he grabbed a peanut butter sandwich from the table and scarfed it in one bite, then bolted back to this forest. So he's like, I'm going to eat your fucking sandwich. That's all he wanted in the end, man.
He probably just wants some company, too. And he's like, why does everybody hate me?
I just want a hug. Now, the name Momo came from the press, meaning Missouri monster, and sightings were being reported all over Missouri. In July of 1972, an 8-year-old named Terry Harrison and his little brother Wally were playing in the woods next to their home. Nothing good comes from children playing in the woods. Nothing. Their older sister Doris, who was just hanging out inside being the cool old sister, heard the kids' blood-curdling screams from the trees. She rushed outside to see a 6 or 7 foot black and hairy monster standing close to the boys. In the beast's arms were a dead dog, and the monster was covered in blood. What would you do, man?
Run.
No, you just continue eating your sandwich.
Yeah,
like
would
nothing
I
happened,
make
apparently.
direct eye contact and keep eating?
After being seen, the monster disappeared into the woods in a hurry. The family dog was sick for hours afterwards, reportedly from the rotting smell of the man-beast. Several clumps of hair and footprints were found in the area. They keep capitalizing on the smell. I hate nasty smells. Like if you just smell this big, rotting, shambling, hairy creature coming at you that's gurgling.
The big thing about big mammals in the wild, though, they do really smell. Like bears smell like fucking trash.
Because they roll in their
Mold.
shit mostly.
But yeah, but like why would not, Bigfoot might do the same thing. So it's either, I would think it's either a bear, misidentified, or, some hairy fucking ape.
That's okay. That's fair. Several neighbors in that area started reporting missing dogs, along with seeing footprints and handprints on their properties.
Hang on. Were there any Chinese shops like opening in the area?
Like for cooking the dogs and stuff? That's horrible, Cleet. What the fuck?
My orange chicken tastes weird.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No wonder I always get sick when I eat orange chicken. A small group of teenagers claimed that Momo approached them roaring ferociously. Another man reported that Momo attempted to overturn his car with him still inside. So, look, I mean, the thing is, a three-legged woman's just trying to chase you and knock on your car. This thing's trying to fucking flip you over.
Yeah, Momo was mad.
Mad. Sightings continued to appear until the winter of 1972, when Momo appeared to have hidden itself away for good. There are numerous caves in the area that it could have retired to permanently, but every now and again, small reports are made of seeing Momo in the vicinity. But overall, it seems to have disappeared. Or has it? So there you have it. Momo from Missouri.
All right. Okay, cool.
So there we go, guys. We just wrapped up another 5 states. So that puts us at a total of 25 states. We're halfway through. And it'll probably be, like June of next year that we finish this? Because we're doing like one a month. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
We'll end it in June.
I mean, hey, we're going into year 2. We chose a hell of a year to start a podcast, good old 2020, but we're almost done with the year. Again, as always, if you have suggestions, please send us our way, or please send them our way at entertheabysspod@gmail.com or on Facebook at entertheabysspod.
And as always, thank you for entering the abyss.
Until next time.